Amy Mann, all spun into one. The comparisons flattered her for the first few minutes, but after that and ever since, she's done nothing but worry about measuring up, even when Entertainment Weekly came along and knocked her down to something of a Disney production, a sprightly, nearly elfin frame that charms its way across the stage and into your heart. Now it's hard to even listen to music, let alone play it. Cold fog quiets the birds and shifts like hot steam above Lake Windsor to the east. Minutes earlier, hailstones sliced past Annie's bedroom window and skipped off the ground like pearls on concrete, escaping in all directions. The timer on the coffee pot had already gone off, and Annie dressed quickly in a fleece and jeans, her red rubber boots with the knobby black soles. She emerged onto the porch as if from a cave, coffee sloshing down her wrist, Detour stumbling at her heels the way old dogs do, scared old dogs with no direction. Annie wanted the hail to prick her skin, to shake loose the stubborn reveries pinned behind her eyes. But in the time it took to pour the coffee, the hail had already moved on. She flips on the small radio she keeps on the porch. It's set to a station she found by accident at the end of the dial, thinking she was turning up the news. It runs crackly old serials where salesmen and seamstresses make their way through hard times. Characters who do things that don't always make sense. But then you hear the backstory the next day, something to do with an aunt's dying wish, or an orphan on the side of the road whose true identity is just becoming clear. Today, it's a butcher in New York and a young boy, his nephew, the son of a brother the man hates. He seems to love the boy in spite of this. "You remind me of me at your age," the butcher says. The accents are a little overplayed. Backstory. A word she's been trying to think of. She ought to write a song called Backstory. Some days it feels as if every cup in the kitchen, every tree in the yard, patch of crabgrass, anthill, the pine planks beneath her feet, even the sky itself is buzzing with backstory, existing for the sole purpose of reminding her of Owen. The songs, the jokes, the curious observations resonate like a tuning fork to the head. Detour heaves himself up and lets loose a sharp, single bark at a chase of squirrels in the live oak tree. Acorns tumble and click in their wake. The bark pierces the quiet like a gunshot. "You're a big man when it comes to little squirrels," Annie says. He'd trembled when hail struck the cedar roof, but he's a good dog, bulky and older than he has a right to be. It takes her a moment to realize he wasn't barking at the squirrels. At least one of his senses is still keen. Annie barely sees the man in the grove. He quickly hops into the truck and shuts the door, as if he's gone out there to relieve himself and doesn't want anyone to know. The truck starts on the road toward her driveway. Annie knocks the binoculars into the spongy grass, hops off the porch and snatches them up. It's hard to focus on a moving target. She quits trying when the truck reaches her gate. Her driveway is at least an eighth of a mile long, but the far-off tinny sound of music reaches her ears. Detour lumbers down the steps as if each leg is made of a wooden cane. He strains his hips in the muddy driveway. "Stay here, boy," Annie says. "Over here." All at once the sun bores a hole through the fog and glares off the filmy windshield, hiding whoever's behind the wheel. But she can see that the clutter sticking out of the back of the truck is rakes, shovels, a mower, and a mess of brown clippings. And she knows just who it is. Detour knows too. He escorts the truck toward Annie, so closely his tail thumps the door. Her brother hangs his hand through the open window and touches the tip of Detour's nose. The music on the stereo is The Beautiful South, doing a cover of Dream a Little Dream of Me. "They're the cheeriest bunch of sad songs you'll ever hear," she'd said when she gave it to him years ago. The truck comes to a jerky stop. Walsh Landscaping is spelled out in bold cursive script beneath an outline of a live oak tree on the door. "My name is Annie Walsh." She used to say this, gently, after walking on stage. Then came the applause, the swirling whistles, the screams. The music dies down in the truck, and the engine rattles off in stages. The air smells like French fries. Her heart pulses against the thin wall of her chest, her brain, her ears.